right, so Patrice Evans here. We're still in our series, and we're just really talking about how to attract the right woman that God has for you and stop attracting the wrong woman. How to go from being lonely because every time you step out to attract a woman, you keep getting the wrong one that takes advantage of you, or she's wants you because of what you've gotten, your degrees or the money or the status, all because you're empathic and kind. So I'm speaking to the young, empathic Christian man who's single and he's 25 to 32. Are you that guy that, you gave it your all and all you get back is either cheating on you, or it feels like it's not you they're really loving, and it seems like what would happen if I didn't do this thing? Would you still want to be with me? And then they do leave you, or you catch them and you have to leave them. So you come out of these relationships and you feel like you've grown so much, but why are you still connecting and getting another one? So we talked about how to break that. We talked about all these other things. And now I want to talk about, let's say it could be something going on with communication. Let's say the right women are there, and part of attracting this other woman, this woman that God has for you for a joyful, lasting marriage is what we're thinking of, right? And you want to be the lead of that. You need to be a leader, an empathic leader with good communication skills. And this is the stuff that I teach in my course and I do in my speaking events. It helps you as a leader. See, this is the thing, is that I speak to leaders, but the man in the household, in the Christian household, is the leader. So you are a leader. And there's a way that a leader needs to be speaking versus someone who's following. There's a difference in the way that you speak. And I'm talking nonverbal and verbals, because, there's a big part of communication that's nonverbal. So how does an empathic leader that's going to lead his household, how does that person lead the woman in his life, especially if she's a modern woman, a woman that is already, you want the compatibility too. That's what men today want, right? That's what you want today, right? That's what women want. We all want that. We want that compatibility. So when you think of compatibility, you're thinking of this woman, when you're going to communicate with her, this is the kind of woman you're thinking of. You're thinking of a woman that has the degrees that you have. She has a profession possibly. Maybe she's not using the degrees in the profession necessarily yet, or maybe she is, whatever the case is. Maybe you knew her from college. Maybe you know her from work. Maybe you are looking to meet someone that is at that level. So this is the tricky part that I've been hearing with a lot of young men out there, is that they want to be the lead, but for many years, men that preceded you, that got the women to be the way they are now, they kept saying, and it was been Neil's song, so many songs, they love that independent woman. They were actually making women feel inadequate because they didn't have their own. She has her own as a song, independent woman, all these things, so it was celebrated for a woman to be independent. So now that we have women that are, how do we still keep this Christian format where the man is the lead of the household, as the Bible says, and the woman allows that? Well, I've said and how do you communicate with a woman that's like this? To have her allow for that. So this is how this works in the way that God has put in my heart. I'm one of those women that I have a postmaster's degree. I may have more degrees than my husband. I'm not sure, but he is still the lead of our household. And, we try to outserve each other. I'm like, no, you're smart. No, you're smart. No, you're brilliant. No, you're smart. So we love that. We love our conversations. We have intellect in different ways. We have gifts in different ways. But when I talk about the lead, I'm talking spiritual lead. How do you communicate as an empathic spiritual leader in your home? Sure, there's lead in all. It starts with spirit, and then you end up making the final decisions. But she is your co-pilot. And women, we know, if any women are watching, and as a man, that a lot of your decisions are going to really heavily listen to what the woman is saying a lot of times. But whatever decision you make, whether you completely just let her railroad you and just you make every decision she says or not, you're responsible for every decision you make, whether you let somebody else have that driver's seat or not. You're going to have to answer to God for everything that happens for your relationship and your family. So you need to know that ahead of time. That's extremely important as a leader in the household, is that it's not an idea or a nice thing to do, or it's Christianese or a nice little Christian thing to do, or it's a topic to debate. No, In the kingdom where Jesus is the King of Kings, and there isn't any democracy, is what I talk about in my ministry. We just listen. And why do we listen? Because he made us. He has the rule books. He has whenever you get a toy or you get something and you want to get the description, the instructions, he has the instructions on how this works. He created marriage. He knows how relationships work. He is a relationship. Father, Son, the Holy Spirit, that is a relationship. He would know how that works. And there's order in that. Father gave his only begotten Son. Whoever believes in him will not perish but have everlasting life. And Jesus says, where I go, you cannot go. I'm going back to my Father. My Father has many rooms. I'm going to prepare a place for you, but I'm going to send you the Comforter. That's the third Godhead. That's order, structure. And he says, I don't do things as my will. I do things for my Father's will. There's an order in that. Amen? So in the relationship with the mother, the child, or the father and the mother and the husband and wife, there is order. It does not mean that one is less important than the other. It just means that's the role you play. And that's what I actually had to say to my students growing up when I would teach these difficult classes, the high school level, and the kids were like, you don't tell me what to do and all this stuff. And I said, listen, I was like the man in the household. Whatever happens in this room, ultimately, that's my responsibility. So you're not going to get in the way of me doing my job just because you want to do what you need to do. You're going to either take that out or you're going to get it right in my room. I've said this before, that in my threshold, when you cross that threshold and you're in my lead, and I'm leading you or in my group, we don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about narcissistic abuse. We don't do that. We respect authority, respect structure and order, godly, orderly, and evenly keeping God first. This is what I do in my home and all that. And the reason I don't do public school anymore is because I live by God's rules and I can't say it. And this is a long thing. But God already set the structure up because he knows that that's how it's going to work best. He knows why. You can go and study why, and you know why, and I know why. We know why the woman's body and the way she's built, she is built to be the primary caretaker of the child and the nurturer and all those things. We're built that way, mentally, emotionally, and physically. The man is the hunter. He's built that way, mentally, emotionally, and physically. So sure, if you want to go against God, that's you. I'm not speaking to anyone who's interested in getting rid of God's structure. We're talking about traditional young men that are Christian and looking for traditional women who are Christian. We're talking about how do we do this thing, Patrice? How do we do this thing? Misty Evans, or, Auntie Patrice, or whatever you want to call me. We want to do it God's way, but we also respect and love the idea that women can be modern now in those ways. How do we do that? Well, my husband and I are doing it. He's so supportive of me and how I'm going after what God has called me to do. So the first thing you need to know is that you need to communicate in your nonverbals and in your verbals, and it's got to be who you are. I can teach you some tricks and tips here, but when you want to make it who you are, women can tell, And now with statistics, we've proven that women have the upper hand in relationships. They're willing to hold out for as long as they can so that they can get the right guy, or they'll be alone. That makes it really hard for your dating pool. How do you stand out? Well, you stand out authentically showing up with these communication skills. But I can start you with a few that can just help you until you can do more. And if you want to work with me so that I can help you with this, you can definitely click on my link for my webinar and just learn more about it. Or you can go straight to my Calendly link that will be in the description so that we can connect and we can see how I can help you. If it fits what you're looking for, if you truly are the guy that I'm talking about, I can totally do this for you and help you attract the right woman so that you can have this joyful, lasting marriage that's pleasing to God, and that you can be feeling comfortable being who you are and she can be comfortable who she is. So how do you communicate non-verbally? Non-verbally, you want to sit up straight. Those are very simple, right? You want to look at her in the eyes when you're speaking to her. I've spoken about this in a masterclass. You want to be a good listener by nodding when you listen. Ask for her to repeat it if it's something that you missed, because it may come back up later and you'll have so many special loving points filling her tank if you can bring back something that you heard her say in a subsequent date, or you know what I mean, when you're looking back at some times you were together. These are just wonderful, wonderful ways to communicate to her that you truly are a leader. Now, look, how are you a leader just because you're listening, just because you're doing that? Because you're not hiding behind the phone. You're not hiding behind anything. You're not trying to have dates where you're hiding. Well, a leader doesn't hide. A leader, you can be introverted or extroverted and still be a leader. A leader does not hide. A woman's looking for someone who's going to be able to stand up for her. Okay, remember the whole thing with Will Smith when he slapped Chris Rock? So I am so against narcissism and abuse. He was 100% wrong, period, in the discussion. The story around it is that he was trying to prove to his wife that he was the lead and he could protect her. What was wrong there is that he proved to us otherwise. He proved to us that she was the lead, and with her nonverbal eyes and rolling eyes in her nonverbals, she led and he followed, and he disgraced himself, the academy, the Black community. You know what I mean? This wonderful opportunity for two really amazing Black men to show how they've grown and where they've come. How about Serena and Venus and Serena? This was their moment. He's supposed to be portraying their father. So he just blew it all up because he's really not the lead in his relationship. This is what we don't want for you. What I see in my professional opinion as a coach is that I just feel like that was a lopsided relationship, and you can see a lot of issues in this marriage that have been going on for a long time. There's infidelity. These are the women. These are the kinds of things that we're saying not to do. I don't know everything that's really going on with them. We only know what the tabloids say and what people are saying on the outside. But what I can say is that instance, I have a right to say what I saw because you did it. You took your hand and you did it. So I can actually comment on what I saw. In that small little nonverbal interaction, she was the lead, and I believe that that is the way that relationship is structured. Look what happens when that happens, when the woman is allowed to lead. Look at that. Can a woman have their careers? Can they be a famous actress or a dancer or whatever? My husband allows me to be, and he loves it, and he's that quiet, respectful leader that I absolutely adore. And so many women love that. Women like me. If you are looking for a woman like me, I'm gonna tell you right now, we love that. Especially an outgoing woman. We love that woman, that man rather, that is going to support us and is going to love us for all that we are. He's so confident in who he is and empathic, and he's still able to take care of the bills, take care of you, and be empathic at the same time. I mean, that's a dream. Can he be masculine and empathic? He can go out and he can hunt, come back and still be gentle with me. Is he always going to be perfect? No, because nobody's perfect. But you can authentically be that guy. And you can authentically show up that way so that when she can recognize that in you. And trust me, this is the good news about what's going on today, is that you're going to stand out so much more now if you just do a few of these things, because guys are not getting it right. So what do they say about light in the darkness? If you put a little light in the darkness, it shines so bright. And we know that in our faith, right? Because that's what we're supposed to be for the world, is light. Well, imagine you being this light, bright light with these guys that really don't have a clue. Because while modern women are rising, men who are immature are rising, and they're getting worse than they've ever been. Poor with communication. And we're not talking about just nonverbal. And then guess what? Where verbal communication comes from, guys? It comes from the nonverbal. So your words as an actress, this is what we learn in acting class, little tip, is that we start off, a true actor that really has taken acting classes, people that don't know much about acting, they think it's just the words. No. You get the script and you learn what's going on behind the words first. What are you feeling? What is that person's life like? What's going on? What are they feeling at the moment? And how is everything feeling? Get that down first. And then the words are just expressing it in a different way. And that's what you need to know about communicating as an empathic leader. You need to be aware. Women are intuitive. We're sensitive and intuitive, and we've seen enough. And we don't. And a lot of these women have encountered narcissistic men. So now they're done. They're done. And if you're that nice guy, you gotta cut past so much to be in front of her. And once you are, you cannot ruin this opportunity to authentically do nonverbal communication that is attractive. So you're not looking down, you're looking at her. You're giving a normal smile, not a crazy smile. You're not staring, but you're looking at her and with a smile, you're doing regular things that I can teach you. Gentle, but very confident. You're going to her. I know you're going to get, you're worried about being turned down, but that's what guys go through. The fully adjusted men, not boys, can handle that. And she should be worth it, and she wants to be worth it. The thing that she doesn't know is that she doesn't realize that a lot of the modern lies that a lot of the even good women are dealing with, because they don't know any better, there's not a lot of people showing them, is that no, they're not supposed to go after the man. This is what I was teaching my women. No, he makes the first move. They don't know that. So when you find a woman that kind of gets that, that's a very special thing that you found that she likes you going to her. She likes you opening the door. And she realizes this is not going to take away her independence. That's that perfect balance that my husband and I have of, I want the roses, I want the doors opened, I want all the stuff, but I also want to be able to be the leader that I am. And I'm a born leader. Who can be with a woman like me? Well, that's what all women are becoming now. Many women are becoming now. So you've got to level up, because I'm telling them, don't be with a man that you can't follow. And so if you're not able to be a man that can lead her, then I wouldn't suggest that she follow you. So what I need to do with you is get you to a level where the women can follow you. Getting the money and the cars are not it. That's what got you to where you don't want to be, where she only wants you for the car and she only wants you this. That's movies. Those are wonderful things. But if you put that in the forefront of who you are, and that's all you communicate, non-verbally and verbally, then don't complain when that's all she wants you for. You've got to come with more than that. If you want a woman that's a Proverbs 31 woman, a high value woman, a woman like me, I want more than that. That doesn't do much for me. And especially those women that are wiser and that will be like mothers and real women, they're not interested in that. They ain't going to change the diapers. It's nice, but we may need to get a SUV with the kids. So it's nice you got a nice car, but these are women we're talking about, not girls. Those modern girls who are not fully adjusted women, they think that they're supposed to be like men so that they can be successful. And it's really sad. And they think they're supposed to be aggressive. This is the lie of the devil. And if you interview them, which I have, none of them are happy, they're miserable, but they still want to hold on to that mindset. Many of them have insecure attachment styles. Many of them have issues from when they were younger. This is their way of feeling better about themselves, but they will not find the joy that you will find if you do it God's way, because God made us. He knows what, and He made marriage. This is how it works. So let me help you get there. Let me help you with your nonverbal communication and your communication skills. And if you click on my Calendly link and you feel like all my videos have helped you already, and you're like, man, I know I want to work with her, go ahead and click on my Calendly link, and we'll see if it fits what you're looking for and if you fit my course. And the little gift that I have is right now I'm doing something in obedience to the Lord, and I'm giving away to 25 young single successful young men, Christian men, free sessions with me. All right. So if that's something you want, it's once again, it's just like this video. You can only get but so much. You're not fully there just because you have it. It might give you this false sense that you're there, but it's really just more time with me to help you and in whatever you're going through right now. But to really get you to a place where you need to be for the nonverbal communication, you would really have to go through my course fully to really get it. But I could do all I can to help you with that if you're interested in the free coaching that the Lord has put in my heart to do. I'm now I have 23 left. So I'm really excited because I just got started doing it. I'm enjoying doing it. It's just make sure that you know that that when you want to apply that, you will need a coach to help you work through a lot of those things. But it still, nevertheless, is a valuable session, which is worth about $225 an hour. Okay, so that's not bad deal, and it's free because the Lord is telling me to do so. So I hope this blessed you. I'm going to talk a little bit more about communication in our next video, so stick with me. See you then.